Hi, it's Sophie for Culture Compass, and today I'm here with Tyler Hilton. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Cool.
Now, you've been on the road for a bit now. How are you holding up health-wise?
I think I'm doing pretty good. It's like a marathon, you know, I feel like, but I'm surprisingly I haven't got sick, like I haven't been too hungover, I haven't been too tired, like I'm just kind of riding along, you know.
Now, you played London last night. I imagine that's quite a big deal for you. Did you party afterwards? Did you celebrate?
No, I didn't because I wanted to get here on time, which I didn't at all. But that was my, last night actually I went out and did some things and I didn't. But honestly, when I'm on the road, it's less vacation. There's just always so much to think about, that I'm, not able to go out every night. But the show last night was sold out at over 5,000 people. It was crazy. And, I just did this tour, me and my acoustic guitar. So it was just wild being on this huge stage just by myself with my guitar. It's pretty amazing. It was really cool.
How did your nerves hold up, though, being on your own on that stage?
I was actually thinking about it last night while I was on stage. I was thinking, I'm surprised at how not nervous I am. But I honestly, I think it's just because I've been doing it for, between, I don't know, maybe almost 15 years, like since I was like 14 or so. And I've just played at so many different situations that the most comfortable I will always be is just me and my acoustic. I probably would have rather had a full band with like a string section and a horn section last night, but like when it comes down to it, like I played so many different places, just my acoustic and I, that there's not too much that could go wrong, So.
Did you feel an added pressure, though, because it was a London date at the Hammersmith Apollo and it's quite an important venue? Did you feel that?
I did. I was just hoping that the crowd response would be what it was last night, because, on top of everything else, the worst thing that could happen is the crowd be like, not really into it, and then you're like, ooh, But but last night they were really excited. I think there's a lot of One Tree Hill fans that are also Boyce Avenue fans, who are the band I'm traveling with, and I think there's a lot of One Tree Hill fans in London. So it kind of helped even more, it was really cool.
And how have Boyce Avenue been as tour buddies? Have you had to have your wits about you? Are they pranksters, or is it all right?
They haven't been really pranksters, but what I do like about them is I really respect what they've kind of done with their career, and they've really kind of made something really substantial out of nothing, Yeah. And now that I've got my own record label, I finally opened, and I'm kind of doing it all myself now. After being in business for so long, I'm kind of so fascinated by how other people do it independently too. And they've really just without a label or anything made really big names for themselves, and I just think that's so commendable. And so I've had a great time talking to them and hanging, and we've jammed a lot, but more so just kind of, I think there's a kinship there because we're both kind of rogue and doing it on our own,
So obviously you've got the control factor now that you're on your own, but what's the main thing that you're missing about being with the main label?
I guess the main thing would be there's a lot of people to, delegate responsibility to, and now it's just a lot of work. But it's like starting any new business or something. You just kind of take a lot of it on yourself at first. But I like it. There's to drive that kind of extra work and extra energy I need is that kind of feeling of I don't know, purpose or something, like, oh, this is great, like I'm doing this on my own. And all those years of being like, I don't think that's the right way to do it, I don't think that's the right way to do it, I'm beginning to put into this now and be like, well, step up and how do you want to do it,
Yeah. Do you find that you're more prolific with your writing because you don't have the pressures of other people on you now? Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, not to get me wrong, part of the journey to get here and part of the learning experience was being at a label and being with people who, a lot of people that I worked with at one point that I'm not working with now because it wasn't right. I've learned a lot along the way, and I definitely couldn't have done what I'm doing now 8 years ago even, But yeah, I feel way more prolific as a writer now because there's a permission-based system at a label, or it was for me, where every song I had to kind of turn in and be like, do you like it? And if they didn't, they wouldn't put it out. Now I can do whatever I want, and that kind of system kind of makes you be like, well, maybe I'm not good,
Yeah.
It just doesn't cultivate I don't know, innovative writing or something, So.
Do you still have people that you go to kind of vet your songs and say, is this a good one?
Yeah, I do. I did that with my dad a lot. He's kind of always been there since the beginning for me, ever since I first started playing guitar. And we have similar tastes in music, and I always kind of respected his opinion. I also try to, now that I don't have an A&R person and I don't have a president to bounce it off, what I wanted to do is make sure the producer of my records from now on are all people that I can do that with. So if I say I want you to help me produce this record, and I'm saying that because I think you're cooler than me, and I think you have cooler opinions than me of my songs. So I'm going to give you 20 songs and have you pick 10. And that's why I picked you for that job. And so this guy David Hodges and Steve Miller, who produced this record of mine, that's what I thought. I thought, well, I'm going to write songs with you because I think you're cooler than me, and I'm going to play you songs that you didn't write, and let me know what you think. And they made what I think is a really cool album with me.
You've said that you could dabble in all sorts of different genres and sounds, but do you think they helped you hone it down so it's a more coherent album?
That's the thing that I feel like knowing my limits is why I couldn't produce a record of mine now, because I would have sort of like a jazzy song and then a really country song and then a rock song. And I do want to keep my albums focused, and if I want to do a country record, do a country record, and then do a jazzier record or do a more rootsy record. So it's nice it helps when I tell someone, here's what I want to do, here's the songs that we've already written that I like, or here's the songs I've written that I want to focus this record on. Let's write more songs like it and make it all kind of this sound. And don't let me change my mind. That's what I always say, so that at least they can keep it focused for me. And no matter how much I want to go another way, I just think, okay, that'll be another record.
In terms of themes and lyrical content, do you find you work better maybe producing these things when you're in turmoil or when you're happy? What creates the best stuff for you? When are you most prolific, do you think?
Yeah, I think it seems like I've written a lot of songs. There's like two types of songs. Like there's the kind that come really quick and without me really thinking about it. And those just sneak in when there's a perfect balance of like me not focusing on music at all and just having a little bit of time every once in a while, and then all of a sudden it'll just happen, But, and so I don't even know where those songs come from. They're like really great dreams. Like you're like, oh, I wish I could do that again, but you can't, you don't know how to go back to it. And then there's the kind of songs where, I've given myself time and I show up with my guitar to my coffee table or whatever it is with a pen and paper, and I say, okay, let's vet all these ideas that I have on my phone. Let's work them out, because I try to keep ideas there. And then it's time for me to switch to the other side of the brain and try to like shape them all, and that's just having the time to do it, which I need to do more of. But this record just took so long to make. Now it's done. Now I'm just in tour mode. So it's weird to start thinking, wow, in a couple of years, or at some point I need to start thinking about another record already,
Do you prefer to have like concentrated time in the studio to do this rather than the random little bits here and there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It all changes as I continue to change. So I was just talking to someone about this the other day, that I'm thinking for this next record, and given in 6 months this will already change probably. But like I'm thinking what I'd like to do is kind of write it over the next couple of years and record it over the next couple of years. So because I'm afraid, I was in the studio for so long, the last 5 or 6 years, I don't want to stop again. I want to keep touring, and I want this next record to come out, and be worked on as I'm touring, so that it's just a seamless thing,
Momentum.
Yeah, it's the momentum. I don't want it to stop like it did, this last time. And that's just in reaction to like me not having put out a record since 2004, which was just the worst feeling ever, so.
Felt stunted a bit and hindered. Yeah.
It was terrible. Yeah.
How did you cope? What was your personality like during that time? Did you go into yourself, or were you just depressed and gloomy?
Yeah, I was just getting more and more lost. I couldn't figure out like if I was doing the right thing, or if I was like, this is what I was supposed to be doing, or I just kept questioning like maybe this was just kind of a silly like dream, or I just couldn't figure it out. I thought, well, it was going really well. Like why is this like not going anymore? And I kept thinking it was me, and so I kept changing and learning and growing, which is great. But then at some point I was like, oh, I don't like any of this, and so I just like got rid of it. And as soon as I did, it was like that was totally it, Yeah. It's just that one thing. I kept trying to change things, and then one thing I changed, I was like, that was totally it. Now I feel like writing, I feel like touring, I feel so excited again. So.
Does the weight feel like it's been lifted as well?
Yeah. And there's things like touring the UK that I was never allowed to do for whatever reason. And I thought, well, I know I have a lot of fans from here online. I could see them on Twitter and on Facebook. I thought, I just think it's stupid to not go over there and tour. And so with this record, one of my goals was, no matter what it takes, I'm going to go over there and tour. And it's been like a lot of work because it's just a different thing. But I'm really glad I did it because it's one of those things that just shows me I'm doing it on my own, you know, like I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, you know.
It's proving to the other people that, look, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly, you know.
Now, I know that you like Jack White and John Mayer, but whose career do you look at and think that's the kind of career I want?
You know, it's kind of a cross between a few different people because, you know, I look at someone like John Mayer and I think he's so talented and I love every change of every record. I just like it and I think he's done it right and he's toured, you know, a lot and he's really commendable. I think Coldplay has got a great career and they continue to put out new sounding records each time and I think they're truly talented. You know, I love people also like Bob Dylan and Jackson Browne. I think is really fascinating. But with none of those people, none of them are actors, you know, and automatically that kind of adds like a different just thing to the whole thing, you know. And that's kind of what I've always struggled with is I've unapologetically like really loved acting and music. And some people may think it's uncool and some people may think it's like really cool, you know, but it's just kind of what I like to do. And there are not that many people that have done it, like Chris Isaac has, you know, and Chris Christopherson's a country singer that does it. Elvis, who's my favorite, has done it, you know.
Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi. I feel like back in the day too, more actors were singers were actors as well, like Frank Sinatra and all. Like a lot of singers were in movies too, and you know, it's just I can't help it, you know. It's just kind of so I'm not really sure, you know. I kind of take all their career paths and kind of make it mine.
No, I was going to ask about the acting, obviously, because I can't have you here and not talk about One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
How does it feel now it's all come to an end? Is it quite sad?
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect it to be. I thought, well, you know, we're all adults here, 9 years, let's move on. And then at the last episode, I was like, honestly, I was in tears.
So I dipped in and out of One Tree Hill over the years, but whenever I watched it, your character wasn't always behaving very well. But yet, when I spoke to the die-hard fans, they all love Chris Keller. So what do you think it was about him?
I don't know. I think the fans are just sadists, you know. They just like really love. You know what? Like, I think they kind of made the character likable at some point. But man, when I first started, I was just getting people just like really didn't like it, and there was no redeeming quality. It was just like they would come to my shows, and I got this all the time. And they'd be like, "I didn't want to come. My friend made me come, but you were okay." You know what I mean? Like they just like they were, and I couldn't figure. And they'd always be like, "Because you broke up Nathan and Haley," or something. They'd say something from the show, and I'd be like, "Oh shit, maybe doing the show is a bad idea." Like I didn't think. I thought people would be able to differentiate, and it wasn't the case at first. But then, you know, I guess they ended up liking it, you know. And now I'm shocked at how many people love that character, Chris Keller, for as you know, horrible as he can be. You know, I guess he's got something about him that's really charming. That's what I've always liked about it, you know. So, but I can't figure it out.
You've also appeared in Walk the Line, which was a pretty important role as well, wasn't it? Now, are there any other characters that you'd love to play? Any books that you've read and thought, oh, that's perfect for me? Yeah,
there's this trumpet player named Chet Baker that I've always thought would be really fun to develop into a script, and I've been working on it for a while, and I know some other people are too, and really I would love to play him in a movie because his life is just fascinating, and I feel like it's a part that I could do well. And there's a few other like true stories and other books that I kind of am trying to develop, and I think it would be really cool. But a lot of them are music based. I'm just really fascinated by, you know. But Chet Baker's kind of the main one, you know.
Now you've done all the independent stuff in terms of the label. Would you ever just do your own film and be behind it all the processes? Yeah,
I wouldn't wait anymore. I mean, I've like written and this is by no means like anything huge or anything, but like I've been working on a TV script for a while with a friend that we've, you know, developed and have been pitching around. And like I said, the Chet Baker movie. And I just like to do a lot of things. Probably like 10 things I start, one will end up happening, you know. But it's important to me to always have that many things going because you never know which is going to catch on. And I'm fascinated by all of them, and I don't want to wait for anything. You know, I just don't like that waiting around sense. So if something got traction and it was independent, I would totally chase that down because I feel like the idea is the most important thing, not where it comes from or like how big the company is that's behind it, you know. Like I would spend a year on a movie that was going to get released in theaters, even if it made not very much dough. It would just be, you know, if I wanted to do it, I would do it, you know.
When you were in the company of, say, Reese Witherspoon or Joaquin, did you go and say, I just want as much information you can give me about the business or any advice, or do you just sit back and go, ooh?
Yeah, well, I was only like 18 or 19 when I did the movie, and I'd never been in a movie, and so I was just thinking like, whoa, like I couldn't even believe I was on set or with these people that were so, cool and such great actors. So I just like sat back and tried to like learn, and I got to hang with them a bunch, and they were really nice, but I didn't want to bother anybody or anything, they would just happen to be nice. And Reese and Joaquin and Reese's husband at the time, Ryan, Felipe, I played some shows in Memphis, and they came out and they hung out at the shows and stuff, which was really nice, but I didn't want to push it, but they were really cool,
You shared a stage with Taylor Swift, which is pretty big deal as well, particularly my friend Ed over there is a big fan.
He's like, damn.
Yeah, kill me later, yeah. But who would you like to share a stage with? Is there anyone like on your music bucket list, things you want to achieve or share a stage with or anything like that?
Let's see, I think it would be really cool I just think it would be really cool to share a stage with Jack White. And the bummer is he's playing at the Apollo tonight, and I'm flying to Belgium. I know, and so I'm gonna miss him. But I was thinking, I was like, wow, that's so cool. I don't know what it is about him that's so fascinating to me. He's such a talent, and he's such an artist and such a poet. There's something about him I just love, and I would love to be on stage with him. I don't even care if I was just in the audience. Every time I've seen him live, I feel it would be this. If I was on stage with him, I would just be staring at him. I wouldn't even be playing. He's just cool to me. I'm kind of captivated by it. So.
He's like a complete artist, isn't he?
He is. And I used to live in Nashville, and he lives there. And I've passed his house a few times going to the studio that we were actually both recording at when he was doing the Raconteurs record. And his house is like this white kind of like spooky looking thing with these red chimney stacks, and just looks so cool. I'm like, of course that's where he lives, like it's so weird,
What's your place like in comparison?
Oh, it's like just a condo in LA, It's like, it's really cool, but it's just, I'm never there, so it's just kind of a small, nice little condo,
Right, just to wrap it up, I want to find out how you settled in the UK. Have you learnt our slang, for example?
Yeah, I feel like every time I get to a new city, I learn some more slang, and then I think I've got it, and then someone asks me that and quizzes me, and I have no idea. I feel like I just want to like start making up words, because I feel like they're so arbitrary, the words. I'd be like, would you like to eat a clappy or something? It's like some random pancake, or I don't know, it's just like, there's so many weird things, I can't even, but is there some... You want to throw some words my way? I'm going to see if I know what's going on here.
English words.
I learned, it's not sidewalk, it's pavement, which yes. It's chippies or French fries?
Chips. But
what are chips? French fries, right?
The chip shop.
Yeah, a chippy would sell you chips.
Like French fries, right?
Yeah.
Oh, chippies are the chip shops.
Yeah.
Okay. A kebab is not the same here for sure.
Oh, have you had a dirty kebab over here yet?
No, what's that?
It's like an elephant leg, basically. It's not actual elephant, but it looks like one.
No, like a kebab in the States, I thought it was like a bunch of meat on a stick.
Yeah.
Here it's this massive saucer of bread with a couple pieces of meat rolled up like a sleeping bag. And like, that's a kebab. Like,
sounds good, huh?
It is. But it's just this, I don't know. Every night I call home, and I'm just telling my friends, like, this place, I thought it was going to be kind of like, not too far. It is so different. It's crazy.
What have you noticed about the people? Are we generally friendly or not so
really
friendly? Oh, good.
Yeah, everyone's been really... In fact, there was a cabbie yesterday who I couldn't pay him because it was just this whole stupid thing. So he waited outside while I did this radio interview, waited for me the whole, like 40 minutes. And then afterwards he took me somewhere else and I got cash. It was like so nice. I couldn't believe it.
Or he just really needed the money.
Or he was a big Tyler Hilton fan. And he was just trying to be, he was shy about it.
The cabbies love you over here.
Big One Tree Hill fan, this guy, I could tell. In his 60s, definitely.
Loves it. No, just to close it up, can you just tell people where they can find your music and where they can see you play next?
Yeah, my music's on iTunes, all over the world, and you can see me play on like my website, tylerhilton.com, or I've got a Facebook page with an events page with all my gigs, or you can also follow me on Twitter, which is @TylerHilton. So,
well, thank you for coming down. Nice to see you, and safe trip.
Thank you.